people accept. Success does not come from the moments when you are excited, but from the days when you still work even when you are tired, bored, and have no motivation. Have you noticed? We often start a plan with all our determination. The first day, you are full of energy. The second day, you are still excited. But by the 7th day, the 10th day, when the emotions are gone, most of us give up. How many times have you promised to lose weight, learn a new skill, build your own business? But after a few weeks, you give up? And then year after year, everything remains the same. The difference between successful people and quitters lies in one word: continuous. Successful people are not much smarter than you. They also do not have 24 more hours in a day. The difference is that they choose to work continuously, non-stop, even when no one is looking. They focus when others are playing. They persist when others are giving up. And over time, that accumulation becomes an unbridgeable gap. 1 habits determine destiny. There is a famous saying, "You don't determine your future. You only determine your habits. And your habits will determine your future." If you only work when inspired, you will never get far. Because inspiration is temporary, but habits are sustainable. People who achieve great things understand this. Edison once said, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Steve Jobs also affirmed, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." They don't wait for inspiration to come and then start. They start, and in the process of continuous work, inspiration appears. 2. Intensity is not as important as consistency. Imagine you want to work out. If you go to the gym once a week and work out like crazy for 4 hours, you will be exhausted but not see results. On the contrary, if you spend 45 minutes every day continuously for 6 months, your body will change completely. Success in any field is the same. It does not come from a few explosions and then stops, but from consistency, day after day. As Kobe Bryant, an icon of hard work, once admitted, "I practice even when others are sleeping. I practice overtime when others have gone home. That is what makes the difference." 3. Why do most people fail? Not because they lack ability, not because they lack opportunity, but because they do not stick around long enough to see results. The paradox is, in the early days, you often do not see any results. You learn a new language but do not speak it fluently. You start a business but do not see any profits. You work out but the mirror in the gym is still the same. And it is this not seeing anything that makes you discouraged and give up. But success always comes late. It is like watering a seed. In the first weeks, you see nothing but empty soil, but underneath the roots are quietly growing. If you continue patiently, one day the green shoots will rise. 4. Continuous work. The only way to break through. You can be smart, you can be talented, but if you do not work continuously, it is all just wasted potential. Thomas Jefferson once said, "I have found that the harder I work, the luckier I get." That's right, luck does not fall naturally. It only comes to those who are persistent and resilient enough to receive it. Remember, every successful person you admire has failed dozens, even hundreds of times. But they do not stop. And in the end, it is that relentlessness that brings them to the top. If you are hearing these words, ask yourself, are you serious about your goals? Are you willing to work even when you are no longer interested? Are you willing to persevere until the results appear? Because in this journey, no one cares how excited you are at the beginning. The world only cares whether you make it to the end or not. There is an immortal saying, "Success is not due to genius, but to perseverance." Talent can get you started faster, but only perseverance will get you to the finish line. Indeed, in life, most people have dreams and goals, but only a few dare to go all the way. And those people are not always smarter, stronger, richer, but simply they never stop. 1. Persistence turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. The difference between ordinary people and extraordinary people lies in the word a little more. Ordinary people stop when they are tired. Extraordinary people try one more step. Ordinary people get discouraged after a few failures. Extraordinary people try one more time. Ordinary people wait for opportunities. Extraordinary people create opportunities with their persistence. In basketball, NBA legend Michael Jordan once said, "I have missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I have lost nearly 300 games. There were 26 times when my teammates trusted me to serve the ball to end the game, and I missed. I have failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I have succeeded." What Jordan emphasized was not failure, but perseverance to overcome failure. 2. Persistence is more important than motivation. Motivation is like a fire, burning strongly at first but easily extinguished. Persistence is the oil lamp, burning slowly but persistently, bright enough to guide the way through the long, dark night. Think about it. If you only work when you are motivated, you will give up 80% of your goals in life. But if you practice perseverance, turn it into a habit, you will complete it even when you are no longer motivated. A philosopher once said, "Discipline is when you still work even when you have no motivation." That is perseverance, working regardless of emotions, regardless of circumstances. 3. Persistence creates invisible accumulation. Success never comes immediately. It is like adding water drops to a jar. Each drop seems insignificant, but over time the jar fills up. You study 30 minutes a day, maybe in 1 week you don't see anything. But after 6 months you have a new skill. After 3 years you become an expert in that field. You practice sports, running only 2 kilometers a day. A month has no difference, but after a year, your body is healthy, your spirit is resilient. It is the accumulation of small things, when maintained continuously, that creates a giant leap. There is a saying, "Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day after day." Robert Collier. 4. Persistence helps you overcome adversity. Life is never easy. There will be days when you are exhausted, lose faith, and even want to give up everything. But it is in those moments that if you continue to move forward, even if it is just a small step, you will find yourself stronger. Like the sunflower, the flower that always turns towards the sun. No matter how windy and stormy it is, it still holds its head high, looking for the light. That is the image of perseverance. A famous saying, "When everything seems to be against you, remember that the plane can only take off against the wind, not with it." Adversity is not to stop you, but to train you, and only perseverance can help you overcome it. 5. Persistence is the power of successful people. Albert Einstein once advised, "Do not try to become a successful person, try to become a useful person." To become a useful person, you must practice, be persistent, and work tirelessly. Steve Jobs once emphasized, "My greatest success comes not from intelligence, but from not giving up." Look at anyone you admire. They all have one thing in common. They persevere to the end. Not for a month, not for a year, but for many years, even for a lifetime. 6. Message. Do you want to succeed? Do you want to change your life? Then remember, It's not talent that decides. It's not luck that decides. It's perseverance, constant work, never stopping. The length of the road is not important. What matters is whether you keep going or not. Every day you persevere, you are getting closer to your dream. Every time you don't give up, you are forging yourself a strength that no one can take away. This is the true power of perseverance, the secret weapon that makes you different from the other 90% of the world. Have you ever told yourself, "I'm too tired today, I'll do it tomorrow"? "It's raining today, let's take a break." "I'll start when I have the motivation." And then that tomorrow never comes. Because motivation is fleeting, but the reason to procrastinate is always there. The truth is, if you only work when things are right, you will never get far. Successful people don't wait for perfect conditions. They act even in the worst situations. 1. The world is never perfect. Think about it. Have you ever had a day where everything went 100% smoothly? No traffic, no stress, no headaches, no fatigue? Most likely not. If you wait for the perfect time to start, you will wait forever. Success is not for those who wait. Success is for those who act even when conditions are not perfect. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb in a well-equipped laboratory. He failed over 1,000 times in harsh conditions. But he kept going, kept trying, and finally light was born. 2. The power of action despite emotions. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you not done something because you don't feel like it? You planned to study English, but you felt bored, so you stopped. You planned to write a plan, but you felt tired, so you postponed it. You planned to exercise, but it was a little cold, so you skipped it. The problem is, emotions are never stable. If you let them control your actions, your life will never be stable. Discipline is taking action even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between an amateur and a professional. Kobe Bryant once said, "There are days when I don't feel like working out, but I still work out. Because I know that if I skip one day, it's easy to skip the second day and the third. And once you get used to skipping, you lose everything." 3. Work even when you fail. Many people only want to work when success comes. But the truth is, failure is a big part of the journey. Bill Gates failed with his first company, Data, before starting Microsoft. Walt Disney was rejected by many newspapers because he was told he lacked imagination. If they had stopped because of failure, would we have Microsoft or Disneyland today? They didn't wait for success to happen. They kept working even when they failed repeatedly, and that's what led them to the top. 4. Work even when no one believes in you. There will be times when you have to walk alone. There will be people who laugh at you, tell you that you're a dreamer, that you're not good enough. But remember, no one but you is responsible for your life. Nick Vujicic, the man without arms or legs, was once ridiculed that he would never be able to do anything. But he persevered, took action, and did not wait for circumstances to change. As a result, today he has become an inspirational speaker for millions of people. If he had waited until he had the perfect conditions, he would never have stepped onto the stage. 5. Act in spite of fear. Fear is the biggest enemy of action. Fear of failure. Fear of being laughed at by others. Fear of not being good enough. But the truth is, every successful person was afraid. The only difference between them and you is they acted even when they were afraid. There is a famous quote in Star Wars, "Do or do not, there is no try. Do or do not, there is no try. Do or do it. Even if you are afraid, even if you are trembling, even if you are not sure, just act, and you will learn how to overcome it. 6. Habits of action make you invincible. Remember, every day you take action, you train yourself to become stronger. The day you overcome laziness, you increase your willpower. The day you work despite lack of motivation, you develop discipline. The day you continue despite failure, you build confidence. Over time, you become independent of circumstances. You become a person who can produce results in any situation. Want to be successful? Then stop waiting for the perfect circumstances. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for fear to go away. Don't wait for people to believe in you. Start today, right now, with what you have, because others may be better than you, luckier than you, but if you act continuously regardless of circumstances, no one can stop you from reaching your destination. This is the power of action regardless of circumstances. The foundation for you to become an unstoppable person. We often look at the success of great people and think that they were born different. But the truth is, the biggest thing they have in common is continuous work, perseverance, and non-stop. They did not succeed because of luck, but because of a lifestyle associated with labor, discipline, and perseverance. 1. Thomas Edison, 10,000 failures to have an invention. Thomas Edison is the one who invented the electric light bulb. But few people know that he failed more than 10,000 times before finding the right filament material. When asked, "How does it feel to fail 10,000 times?" Edison replied, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." What made Edison a legend? Not his superior intelligence, but his relentless work ethic despite failure. He proved that success never comes to those who give up early. 2. Kobe Bryant, the symbol of crazy practice. In the sports world, Kobe Bryant is famous not only for his talent, but also for his unmatched hard work. His teammates once said that Kobe could practice at 4 a.m. every day before the team officially practiced. Once, after losing to the Miami Heat when everyone left the court, Kobe stayed to practice for another 2 hours. He once said, "You will never surpass me if you do not work harder than me. I am willing to sacrifice everything, even my youth, to become the best." Kobe became a legend not because of his natural talent, but because he never stopped working. 3. Steve Jobs, love your work to the end. Steve Jobs once said, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle." Jobs didn't just say it, he lived it. When he was fired from Apple, the company he founded, he didn't give up. He continued to start Next and Pixar, then returned to Apple, creating iPod, iPhone, iPad, products that changed the world. Without perseverance, constant innovation, and continuous work, would we have the iconic bitten apple today? 4. Albert Einstein, patience over talent. Einstein once famously said, "I'm not smarter than anyone else, I'm just more patient with problems longer." He was not a child prodigy. In fact, when he was young, Einstein learned very slowly and was told by his teacher that he would never be able to do anything in life. But instead of giving up, he patiently pursued his research path, spending decades on problems that others had abandoned. The result? He became one of the greatest scientists in the world. The lesson here is, success requires not only intelligence, but also extraordinary endurance. 5. Nick Vujicic, the will to overcome fate. Born without arms or legs, Nick Vujicic once fell into despair and even thought about ending his life. But instead of letting his circumstances defeat him, he chose to work tirelessly with what he had. He practiced writing with his toes, typing on the keyboard, swimming, and even playing table tennis. After that, Nick became an international speaker, inspiring millions of people with his own life story. If there is one person who proves that taking action despite the circumstances can change your life, it is Nick. Look back, Edison failed 10,000 times. Kobe practiced while the world slept. Jobs worked even when he was fired. Einstein was so patient that the whole world admired him. Nick Vujicic turned adversity into strength. What they have in common is not luck nor innate genius. The only thing they have in common is they never stop. The lesson for us, if you want to become someone the world must remember, don't just rely on fleeting inspiration. Learn from the greats. Work continuously, relentlessly, regardless of the circumstances. You have heard many stories. You have known many examples. You have understood that. Successful people are not better than you in luck, but in perseverance. But the biggest question now is, are you willing to take action? 1. Time doesn't wait for you. Every morning when you wake up, you are given 24 more hours. You can use them to move forward or waste them on procrastination. Remember, it's in a lazy day, you lose an opportunity. A lazy week, you miss a result. A lazy year, you lose a dream. Life is too short. If you don't start today, tomorrow you will regret it. And that regret is heavier than the fatigue of working. 2. If only. The two scariest words imagine when you are old. You look back on your life and exclaim, if only I had persisted a little longer. If only I hadn't given up so soon. If only I had started that day. The two words if only carry more weight than failure. Because failure can be redone, but opportunities once lost will never come back. Working continuously, relentlessly is the only way to never have to say those two words. 3. No one can do it for you. You can listen to hundreds of speeches, read thousands of books, watch millions of inspirational videos, but if you don't take action, it's all just theory. No one can run for you. No one can train for you. No one can build your career for you. Success is never teamwork when it comes to your own life. It's you work. 4. The road is long but not difficult. The difficulty is whether you take it or not. People often say the road is difficult not because of rivers and mountains, but because people are afraid of mountains and rivers. The road to success has never been easy, but it has never been impossible. As long as you are willing to take steps, step by step, persevering every day, no matter how long the road is, you will reach your destination. Remember, you don't need to run immediately, you just need to never stop. From this moment, promise yourself, even if I'm tired, I will still work. Even if I have no motivation, I will still move forward. Even if I fail, I will still stand up. Even if others don't believe in me, I will still believe in myself. Because as long as you don't stop, no one, no circumstance can stop you from reaching your dream. 5. Live like a warrior. Life is not for the weak, it only honors warriors. Those who are willing to shed sweat, tears, even blood to move forward. Remember, today's sweat is tomorrow's smile. The pain of discipline is much lighter than the pain of regret. Success is not a destination, but the result of the days you don't give up. Want to change your life? Don't wait for a special day. Don't wait for a perfect time. Today is that day. This moment is that time. Start now. Work continuously, relentlessly. Discipline yourself. Fight until there is no limit to stop you. Because if you don't stop, you will never fail. Failure only comes when you give up. And then you will no longer have to say, if only, but will proudly say, I did it, I persevered, and I won.